You wrap up and you move on. You carry with you what makes sense from the last place you've explored. You walk on your version of the yellow brick road. It's the puzzle pieces that make the footpath. Or you watch 20 boats rock and float. Or you make your eyes really tiny till the lights seem to blur out. You walk, you watch, you see it fade out. You think, you imagine. What if all that was on the outside was just like it was on the inside? When I'm in Mumbai, I feel like I live in a different world. It just seems to be about getting through the day and barely about the things I've done to get through it. I remember back home when Dad would ask me, "Are you happy?" I don't seem to hear that in Mumbai that often. I wanted to make a film about Mum and Dad. I told my friends about this. And together, through this film, we try to understand what made their life so special. You know, when you start to love something, you want to share it with the people closest to you? I began to love film and just didn't know how I was going to explain it to Mom and Dad. I watched Melee and knew that I had to take it back home with me. The magic of Melee. I know Mom would love that. Every time I return, I take a big red sack of little stories that I need to narrate. Being away has changed so much. It's difficult to communicate with them from Mumbai. Coming back home just means being able to talk to them again. It means being able to see their eyes as they hear each word I say. And somehow the movement of their hands would just reduce the space between us. Mommy, Vijay Square. Over the years, I learned ways to communicate with mom and dad. Like I remember when I was little, I would call her a granny and she would immediately turn around. But daddy never would. So I would tug at his pants. Tug till they fell off. Dad has always been about the boy who just refused to grow up. I remember when he would bring home injured squirrels. We would make a home for it out of an old shoebox. Sometimes he would bring home sparrows, and we'd keep it under a sofa. It was small things like this that made Dad, Dad. I think it was 9 when it hit me that having mom and dad as parents made things seem a little different. I stood up to answer in class, and my teacher stopped me mid-sentence and said, "Do you know why Kavita talks with so many gestures? That's because her parents are deaf." I wondered why she had to even make that distinction.
Not going anywhere. No, not even sitting down. Really bum you are.
Vijay and I never discussed mom and dad. And that was because mom and dad was not something out of the ordinary in our lives.
There's no more powder.
Put it.
We don't, I mean, at least I don't discuss much about my family. There are some people who talk about their families and all. But that is in their like free time and all. Or like some funny stories and all they discuss. But not. Okay, man, like these are my parents now. Like, what do you want to talk more about it?
There were so many times where I didn't want to do the things that became my responsibility. I was the telephone operator, I was the interpreter. I just didn't want to do it anymore. Vijay and I would fight about who had made the last call and who's going to do it next. By the end of all our silly arguments, all mom and dad would say was, if we could hear, we would call.
No.
This is my friend Mithika. We've known each other since we were 2, and we've grown together. It's because of her and her family that I've got a deeper understanding of the world. I would spend days at her place, and Mom would always let me go. But she knew when exactly to bring me back home.
No.
I don't think so.
Okay.
There's that bun. I think
No, I don't anymore. That bun I just think is like a bit terrible now.
Oh, it's okay.
George bought it that day when we didn't have any breakfast, so. Oh, she's not coming nowadays. Yeah, Royal. These are strange, no? They remind me of angel ribs or something.
I look at home, and I look outside. I look at the way Mom and Dad live their lives. There seemed to be less of worry, and more of actually caring, loving, and being there for one another. I realize the value of what my parents have taught me. It's a way of life that I will carry with me as I move away. Mom and Dad always wanted me to go ahead and do what I could to make them proud. But there are times when I'm not around, and they really miss me.
I take hospital. Sometimes look at me, typically, but I'm angry. I made a test.
I gave no.
Teacher after.
What are you?
I'm very intense. Okay.
I went, but after music. I first went and after. Today I came very fast. Shouting at me. No, it's the first day I didn't come. Oh, you want to down, so it's going back.
Mette. Boy, I can captain. Saying I need me. Can you happy? You can be able. Oh, family happy.
I know, come back home. I'll get
I'm happy. Tick. I can't.
I was in Bombay, and Mummy called me for my 21st birthday. She sang the whole of Happy Birthday. She sang it the way the tune is in her head. I didn't know what to do. Thank you, Mummy, I said. I love you. I know she heard me.
आजकल साहब बहुत महंगा हो गया हाँ ये गुटका है गुटका उसको हाँ ये सब पीना खराब है हाँ
Things change, your world seems different, and the distance may begin to grow. It's a time where you feel you've just gotten closer.